At weeks 8, 12, and 16 of the trial, the Yamabushitake group showed significantly increased scores. Lion's mane mushroom is everywhere right now, sold as a supplement for memory and focus. This trial is one of the pillars supporting those claims, but we looked a little closer at who actually ran this test and found an asterisk that changes everything. The measurement meter is empty. Let's uncover the truth. We always start with the venue. Phytotherapy Research. It's a legitimate peer-reviewed specialty journal. The science here is being published in a real forum. Solid journal credentials. The foundation checks out. Before looking at the people, we test the math holding the results together. 11 cases were judged notably improved by a 3 and more point increase, 10 in the Yamabushitake group and 1 in the placebo group. We ran a series of algorithmic checks on their baseline distributions and raw percentages. If data is faked or manipulated, the underlying arithmetic usually breaks. Theirs didn't. The headcount matches the percentages perfectly, and the statistical tests they chose were entirely appropriate. Clean math across the board. No issues here. But when you step back from the calculations and look at the trial itself, the foundation starts to shrink. One subject was excluded from the statistical analysis. The subject voluntarily withdrew from the trial 4 weeks after its start, reporting stomach discomfort. They only enrolled 30 people to begin with, without explaining why that was enough. And when this person dropped out, the researchers just erased him from the analysis. Keeping every participant in the final math, even if they quit, is a standard safeguard. If you only count the people who finish, you risk hiding the people who quit because the treatment was too hard. Missing sample justification and excluded dropouts. The structure only partially holds up. And that small sample size makes the next missing detail significantly more dangerous. The study consisted of a double-blind, parallel group placebo-controlled trial performed by randomizing the 30 subjects into 2 15-person groups. Both sides were kept blind, exactly as required. The baseline stats show the groups started evenly matched, but they completely omit how that random assignment was hidden from the doctors enrolling patients. The assignment process is where most studies quietly break. If a researcher can see which group is coming up next, they start making choices who to enroll, who to wait on. The assignments need to be sealed before anyone can act on them. Here, there is no curtain. A fatal flaw in allocation concealment. There's nothing here. With the design foundation shaking, we looked for the underlying data. P is less than 0.05, P is less than 0.01 versus placebo. The statistical thresholds show clear significance against the placebo group, but they didn't file a registered plan before enrolling anyone. They didn't release the raw data or their analysis code. Significant on paper, but zero transparency underneath. Nothing. We've got more studies queued that will surprise you. Subscribe so you catch the next one. And then there's how they drew the results. Look at the chart of cognitive scores. The bars seem to show a dramatic jump. But the vertical axis doesn't start at 0, it starts at 20. Cropping the bottom of the scale stretches a few modest points of improvement into what looks like a massive effect. It is a classic way to make a small difference look enormous on the page. Questionable visual reporting. The picture is built to mislead. So we have a small, completely opaque trial with missing safeguards. Which brings us back to page 1 and the question of who actually ran this. One Mushroom Laboratory. Hokuto Corporation. Look closely at the author list. 4 of the 5 researchers work at this lab. Now look outside the paper. Hokuto Corporation is a commercial mushroom producer. The researchers testing the product are directly employed by the company selling the product, and that relationship is never flagged as a conflict of interest in the disclosures. But jump to page 2, and the relationship deepens. The manufacturer provided the actual supplements used in the trial. The independent story gets complicated the moment you look outside the paper. Let's look at where this leaves us. 50 out of 100 under normal circumstances, that's a passing grade. But this study called itself a randomized controlled trial while entirely failing to protect how patients were assigned to groups. That's not a design weakness, it's a misrepresentation of what kind of evidence this is. That single deception means every clinician who cites this paper is treating it as stronger evidence than it actually is. That triggers an automatic discard. The authors failed their disclosure obligations by testing their employer's product in secret. The science behind Lion's Mane, independent labs have confirmed it actually holds up, but this specific paper can't be the one you cite to prove it.